Do people ask for your advice, and do you give it without a price? Experience, expertise, and empathy all on tap and all for free. Your nice self-sacrifice is not a virtue. It's really a vice. If you give your knowledge away, you're the one who's going to pay. People are happy to take your time and all they can get when it don't cost a dime. They'll phone and text to say what's next and drop on by to have a cry. You can counsel, encourage, exhort, and pray, and they're back again within a day. They never, ever go away. I'm dropping a truth bomb, wisdom on the mic. We're going to show you how to make it right. Today, you'll discover how you can get paid money for the advice that you currently give away for free.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Kingdom Builders Academy podcast. We are coming at you today with our next exciting episode, Get Paid for the Advice that you currently give away for free. You're already giving advice away. Why not get paid for it? So, Coach Tam, kick us off. What are your thoughts on this topic?
Okay, so what I think is that if you are going to do any service for anybody, okay, if you are going to clean a house, if you are going to fix a car, if you are going to do any service whatsoever, would you prefer to be paid or not to be paid? I mean, for a long time, for months and years on end. Is it better to be paid or is it better to not be paid? Personally, I think it's better to be paid. If you're going to do a service, if you're going to spend your time, then I think that it's better to be paid. Now, a lot of people we find who come into this arena of coaching and influencing, writing books, speaking on stages, you do it because you have a message to share and you have been persuaded that it's better to be paid than to not be paid. Now, a lot of people do it for free. And they tend to burn themselves out in the process. They tend to kind of get beat down, demoralized, feel like, why am I just giving and I can't seem to get the traction that I want in my business and in my speaking, in my writing and my coaching? Well, it's because you have this mindset that you should just give everything away for free. And the truth of the matter is that the workman is worthy of their wages. So people are coming to you for advice because you've got good advice, you've got good counsel, you're wise, and it's helping them. And that's why they never ever go away, is because what you're doing is helping them. And I've seen so often in over a dozen years of equipping God's people how to succeed in the influencer business that many, many times it is such a big deal in your brain. But when you actually implement, you find that people are happy to pay. And it's shocking. People are shocked when they actually produce an offer and they promote it and they put a price tag on it. And people sign up and they're like, whoa, I had no idea. And the truth of the matter is that you can keep giving away your advice, your wisdom, your counsel, your expertise, your experience, your how-to knowledge. You can keep giving it away for free and people will keep taking it. But if you will package it, price it, promote it the proper way, people are also very, very happy to pay for it. And in my opinion, it's better to get paid than to do it for free. What do you think, Zach?
I think so too. I 100% agree. And I think part of what we want to focus on today is the why you should get paid for advice that you currently give away for free. And we'll get all throughout the podcast and everything we do into the how and the step by step. But I think it's important that we talk about the why today, because 99% of Christians out there who have advice, who have experience, who have knowledge and wisdom and know-how, 90% do not get paid for the advice that they give away for free. It's like the 1%. So we'll talk about the how-to at some point for sure, but I want to talk about why it's so critical and why it's so important. And like you said, Coach Tam, hey, if you had the option to get paid or not get paid, I think we'd all say, hey, I'd like to get paid. That'd be great. Mm-hmm. And what I was thinking about coming into this podcast is the difference between amateurs and professionals. You know the difference between amateurs and professionals? Amateurs do not get paid. Professionals do. That's what it means to be a professional, is that I get paid. And my wife, Jillian, we love golf. And when an amateur competes in a tournament, they could be in the top 10. But if they're not a professional, they don't get paid. And here's a similar thing that when you're giving advice to people, why are you giving them advice? It's because you want to help them. It's because you want to help them. And if you really want to help people, if you want to help the most amount of people with maximum impact and the most effectiveness that you could have, it would be much better to be a professional. Not just because you get paid, because that would be great, right? Like that's the preference. We can all agree. But also because when you're a professional at something, it gives you the ability to master your craft, to improve, to invest in your training, to invest in your tools, to invest in your education, and your abilities will increase as a professional. As an amateur, not really, right? As an amateur golfer like myself, I can't really invest 40 hours a week and, a bunch of my income into getting great at golf, right? And you, as somebody who gives away advice for free as an amateur coach, as an amateur mentor, as an amateur counselor and leader and thought leader, as an amateur, you can't invest that much because you don't get paid. But as soon as you flip the switch, and a lot of it's just a decision, right? It's mostly a decision. Like you got to get a little bit of knowledge and training and equipping, and then you can do it within a month, right? It's not that big of a deal to make that switch. But once you make that switch from amateur to professional, someone who does it for free versus somebody who gets paid, as soon as you become a professional, everything's professionalized, right? Your ability to help people goes way higher level, right? Your ability to equip yourself to equip others is going to go way higher level. So that's my initial encouragement, is to flip that switch, to make a decision. I'm not going to be some like amateur that, once a month I get lunch with somebody. I could be a professional at this.
Well, I think you limit your ability really to impact people otherwise. Like I remember one time, Zach, a friend of mine named Tim, he said to me, Tamara, I just sold my tech company and I got a big paycheck. And he said, I've been thinking about what I want to do next. And I've decided that I want to be an influencer. I want to speak on stages. I want to have a mastermind program and lead high-level leaders through business skills. And so I was wondering, can I have lunch with you and pick your brain? Can I pick your brain on what I should do? And I said, well, my friend, you're not going to get much of my brain over lunch. I said, I can't teach you what it's taken me 30 years to learn. I can't teach you that in an hour at lunch. And he said, oh, I know, but would you please just have lunch with me and just share with me what you can over lunch? So I said, okay. So we went to lunch and he came with a business plan that was like the New York City phone book. It was just thick. And the guy is the smartest guy in the room, in any room that he goes in. Okay. So he was prepared and he pushed this business plan over to me and he said, would you look through that and tell me what you think? I said, what is it, Tim? He said, this is a plan for a live event that I want to do to kick off my speaking career. And I said, okay, Tim. And so I looked through it and he said, what do you think? And I said, well, I think it's very good. And he said, so tell me more. And I said, well, I think that you're going to get a great education. And I think that the people who attend are really going to love it. And he said, but how much money do you think it will make? And I said, oh, it's not going to make money, Tim. I said, you're going to lose money. I said, you're going to lose about $30,000. And he goes, what? And I said, yeah, but people are going to love the event and you're going to get a great education and you're going to learn a lot. And to this day, now it's decades later, anytime that I see Tim, he says to me, do you remember that lunch that we went to? Do you remember that business plan? How did you know I was going to lose $30,000? I said, because I've been doing this for decades and I know. And he did. He lost that money, but he continued on. He learned some things and now he is in this space very successfully. But if I had had time with him, you see, if he, instead of saying, can I take you to lunch and pick your brain? If he had said, hey, can I spend 6 weeks with you and we get together once a week, I'll pay you for it. And can you show me how to make money with this live event I want to do? In 6 weeks of coaching him, it would have flipped. He would have made 30,000 instead of losing 30,000. But that's the ability that you have when you're being paid and you can really invest in people. You can make a profound difference in their life. And if you're just giving them one-off advice for free, or even worse, if you're spending massive quantities of time with them, you're their marriage counselor, you're their finance counselor, you're speaking wisdom to them about their parenting, you're counseling them spiritually. Every time they have a need, they're codependent. They don't know even how to call on the Holy Spirit anymore. They call on you and you tell them what the Holy Spirit is saying. Well, that's not healthy and it's not biblical. Jillian, what do you think?
Well, I was looking in the chat and I saw a number of people kind of communicating that are with us live right now, that when you have a demand, and I was thinking about this for me, and I'll give an example, but when you have a demand placed on your gifting, you show up differently. And I pray a lot for a lot of people, and I do not charge anything. Okay. And whether it's voice memos, voice messages that I'm sending, people that call me, I am an intercessor and I pray a lot. And I was thinking about the difference when I first started working for Kingdom Builders Academy, and there started to be a demand placed on that gifting, on that ability. And it wasn't that I didn't know I had that gifting or that I wasn't invested, but there was something different. I kind of metaphorically sat up straighter. I kind of metaphorically showed up a little differently, because it was like all of the sudden, the landscape, the stage was set and there was an expectation. And I think that the level of expectation is not just something that comes from our clients or potential clients, but it's the expectation from within and how we show up for ourselves in that moment. And so, just like thinking about how there are a lot of opportunities, one-on-ones that are coming up where I'll be praying with people and speaking into their lives, and the demand that will be placed on my gifting in that moment, I was just telling someone yesterday, actually, Bunny, I was saying, and I don't know about you, but I can pray on the fly for someone, right? Like I'm driving down the road, I'm in an elevator like you, I've seen you do the $30,000 guacamole close. I've seen you do it in every space. But I was telling someone, actually, it was Donna Jo, who is our precious director of admin. I was saying, but I can't do it right on the fly. It's not the same. If I'm in a prepped and prime position, if I put the demand on myself, I put the demand on my gifting, I'm in a right space at the right time and the right frame of mind, and I am prepared to deliver the goods. So, I think that it really, really is important that we understand that there's an expectation on yourself that will change when you are being paid to deliver something that you were delivering for free. There is something in you that changes. And, there was a really great example, and I've given it before, and it was a member in the inner circle who had been helping women for years. She was essentially a life coach and didn't realize it. And then one day she had a dream and saw currency floating from heaven, and it was falling from the sky, and it was getting trampled over by taxi cabs and going down sewers, etc. And when she woke up, she said, like, what is that? He goes, that's the currency of the giftings and the anointing and the talent and everything I have given to you. And when you don't value it and it goes by the wayside and floats down sewer water into the sewer and it gets trampled over by tourists and run over by a bus, how on earth, one, how would you expect me to trust you with more? How would you expect the Lord to trust you with more? And two, if you don't value it, how on earth could you ever expect someone else to even value that which you carry on the inside. And it's totally disrespectful to the Lord, which is kind of like a little bit of a stinger. But it's like, if he wants you to have massive impact and he wants you to affect the masses, you have got to take yourself more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can I add on that? Because it's such a good point about you show up different, right? When you get paid, you show up different. I think just as important, if not more important, is that the person that you're talking to or that you're coaching or mentoring, they show up different. When they've put down $500, $1,000 or more, guess what? They sit up straighter. Their ears perk up a little more. They're ready to take some notes and they're ready to take action, right? So if you really want to help people, they've got to pay. They have got to be invested. They will take action when they put some money where their mouth is, where their treasure is, their heart is too, right? I know this has got to resonate with so many people that you can give great advice to people and then they just do nothing with it.
Right.
Guess what? If they had paid for that same advice, same person, they probably would have done something with it and they probably would have resolved a lot of those problems. And I think there's two types of people that we're talking to who should be getting paid, that should be getting paid for the advice that you currently give away for free. One is like the world changers, right? Those that want to have New York Times bestselling books and reach tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people, right? There's people that have that ambition, that have that God-given dream, and that is awesome. Great. You better get paid for the advice you give away for free, or else you're never going to be able to finance that kind of ministry and get the momentum that you need. But I think there's probably more people that should also get paid for the advice that they give away for free that aren't going to coach hundreds and thousands of people. They're going to maybe mentor 12 people a year. You're going to maybe have a small group of 12 people, right? And I want you to think about, which one am I? Do I have the ambition and the dream from heaven to really reach the masses? Or do I want to reach a few people massively, right? Do I want to just reach, 10, 12 people a year, 6 people a quarter, whatever it is? And if that's you 100% should start a little small group coaching program. You should start a little small group mentorship program where maybe they pay $500 a month, $300 a month. And what that would do for you and for them to have, say 12 people that pay $400 a month, that's an extra $4,800 a month in income. That's nothing to sneeze at. And that's like, going not too heavy on the scale. Yeah. But then what that's also going to do for them, for those 12 people a year or 12 people every 6 months that you work with, you're going to ultimately end up changing hundreds of lives over the next decade. And those hundreds of lives that you change, they're going to go on to change thousands of lives. Yeah. So you've just got to get in the game. Even if you're not like the, world changer visionary and it's like, hey, I just want to reach a few people in a significant way, you better get off the sidelines and do something with that gift and with that message. And if you really want to help people, you really ought to charge for it, because you're going to show up different and they're going to show up different. And it's just going to get the ball rolling and it's going to create a massive impact that way.
All right. So for people who are listening right now, Zach, and they are saying, okay, you're right. I'm convinced. People are coming to me for advice for free. I am not sure maybe whether they would pay for this advice, but I'm willing to try. I think that I would like to do this. What's a good place to start for them?
Yeah, so it's really, we've been doing this for over 10 years and have worked with thousands of people in exactly that spot. And we have a blueprint, a proven blueprint. It's the Kingdom Builders Blueprint. It goes step by step from nothing but a dream to 6-figure incomes as a paid coach, speaker, and author. And the first step is getting clarity. That's step one. You've got to just get clarity. For me, I'm somebody that if I don't have clarity, I kind of will have anxiety and I can kind of freeze up and not do anything. And that's probably a lot of people listening is, I'd like to do that. That makes sense. I get it. I'm on the same page with you, but I'm not clear on the steps. I'm not clear on what to do next. And that lack of clarity, for me, it creates anxiety. For me, it can kind of paralyze me. It can overwhelm me. So the very first thing is you've got to get clarity. And this is what we help all of our members do. It's the very first thing is get clarity on your who. And it's an acronym, WHO. Who are you going to help, right? That's a specific person with specific problems and specific goals. We're not going to help everybody with everything. It's got to be specific. Who are you going to help specifically? How are you going to help them? And that's all about results. How we help people is a transformation. How we help people, it's not coaching sessions, it's not workbooks, it's not videos. That is not how we help people. We help people by getting them results. So we got to be clear on who are we helping specifically? How are we helping them specifically? And then what are we going to offer? And that's the easy part because we know how to price, package, and promote it.
Yeah, very good. So when people start off in this space, when they put together an offer, and we recommend a high ticket offer, because you are really shooting yourself in the foot if you put together an offer that is cheap, because people perceive it as being cheap. So I want you to think about a high ticket offer that you can put together that would create the transformation that Zach is talking about, and really narrow down to one problem, one people group that you can help people with. So what we find in Inner Circle is that the people who come and audition for Inner Circle and who get an invitation, very often they're super gifted people. Even if they undervalue their own giftedness, they are super gifted people. And so many of them say, well, I could help people with parenting. I had aging parents that I took care of. I could help people who are negotiating that stage of life where you're caring for aging parents and trying not to burn yourself out at the same time. I can help people spiritually. God has given me wisdom and I can help people in their lives. I can help them with their goals. I've had these experiences. Maybe I got myself in shape and I lost weight and got off of medication. I can help people and encourage them through that kind of process. And so they think, well, I'll just allow anybody to hire me. Anybody can hire me and I'll talk to them about whatever goals that they have. And then, surprise, surprise, they find out that nobody's really hiring them. And the reason for that is because you didn't narrow down on a specific problem, a specific niche, a specific people group that you could help. So I would say that that's some of the things that you need to be thinking about as you make this transition into getting paid for your advice, that you're not going to be a Jack and Jill of all trades, because that lacks credibility. If you're just like, I help people everywhere, all age groups, male, female, I just help everybody with everything. It doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem like that's very credible. So in order to properly promote it in the marketplace and to get traction, you're going to have to figure out a specific problem, a specific niche, who you're going to help, and stick with that and make your offer around that. Okay, so Jillian, I see your wheels turning. What have you to say?
Well, I'm just in agreement with everything that you guys are saying. I think, though, there is a differentiator when you not every way that you have helped someone is going to be a great business. It's not going to make for a great business.
Good point.
And, I think it should come with like a warning label, that I think sometimes people hear a message like this and maybe they're the go-to for this or that, or they have a passion for this or that. And then they think, well, I'll connect the dots and I'll be the next great this or that. And I think that there is a proven process to test that. And I just think it's really important before you kind of go all in on something and you decide that this is going to be the thing that you get paid for just because you love it, or just because people come to you and ask you about it, or it's like, but oh my gosh, your cookies are so good. Everyone wants your cookies. Like everyone everywhere is like, oh, can you bring the famous cookies? Can you bring your cookies have a name? Okay, they have a name. Rosa's triple chocolate threat or whatever they are. But that doesn't mean you should open a catering business.
Right.
And so I just think it's worth, and maybe my incredibly handsome, shrewd, anointed husband can say a few words on like, not every passion and not everything that maybe you're good at translates to, I'm good at this, so people are going to show up and pay me for it. Because let me just tell you, rabbit hole. You can go down that hole. And then, what's sad is you actually end up giving up on, the dream of being an entrepreneur because you were chasing the wrong thing or you were chasing the right thing with the wrong process. Honey, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is something that we're actually going to do an upcoming podcast on, which is financing ministry, right? Because I think everybody, just like I think everybody should have a small group paid mentorship program, every Christian who's got a message, got some experience, that's pretty much everybody. Everybody pretty much also has some kind of like nonprofit idea, has some kind of like ministry, give back, humanitarian, something like that. And those are two different things. There's, if we just wanted to say, there's kind of for-profit businesses and nonprofit ministries. For-profit businesses make money. Nonprofit ministries, you got to put money into. And those will synergize. You can have both of those. We recommend you start with the thing that's going to be a for-profit business. Yeah. You come up with a niche and a message and a model that's going to make money, get that wheel turning. And then as it starts kicking out dividends and profits, use that, funnel that in to nonprofits. We all have that. Coach Tam, myself, Coach Jillian, we all have that. We all have profitable businesses that we use to finance ministries and nonprofits and evangelistic work and missions work and homeless work. Like we've all got that, right? So you should have that too. If you feel drawn to that, is have a business that makes money, use that money to fuel missions work, nonprofit work. But let's not get confused and say, I've got a heart for the homeless. I've got a heart for missions. I've got a heart for evangelism. That's going to be my business. That's really going to be more of your nonprofit passion project.
Yeah.
And you should have both, but they are two different things. We really recommend starting with the thing that's going to make money so that it can fuel the thing that takes money. And I've got one more thought on this, and then either of you feel free to chime in on a closing word here as we're wrapping up. On this podcast, for our inner circle members who are here live, we talk about it all, right? We talk about the writing and the speaking and the events and the content and the massive reach and impact and the ministry and the impact that we get to have there. The topic today of get paid for the advice that you give away for free, that's kind of the first step, right? And that's kind of the open the floodgates moments. You should have $1,000 paying clients. That is the first step. High ticket paying clients. Because if you want people to pay to buy, a book for $20, if you want people to buy a plane ticket to show up at your event, you're going to have something that's really good, right? And the way that you get something that's really good is you develop it. It evolves. It optimizes, it grows, it improves. And 99.9% chance what you have right now as a seedling is not ready to be a New York Times bestselling book, is not ready to put 1,000 butts in seats at a live event. So your first step is to take that seedling and get a $1,000 paying client and get another $1,000 paying client, coach them one-on-one for $1,000. It's a great deal. That is the open the floodgates moment. That is the threshold that you need to break. And once you do that, you are now a professional and you can now enhance your skills and hone your craft and let that seedling grow and let it sprout. And we'll build the audience and we'll sharpen the message and we'll do the books and we'll do the speaking and we'll do the events and we'll finance the nonprofit work. This is the first step. Get yourself $1,000 one-on-one paying client and then get five. Get five $1,000 paying clients. You'll coach them one-on-one. You'll develop your message. You'll develop your content. You'll start building an audience. You'll enhance your skills. You'll show up different. They'll show up different. And it will be a LifeGate moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would like to add something here because I think that we have people who are watching and who are listening who are ready to take that step. But it sounds so scary, the idea of even asking somebody to be a part of your coaching program, inviting them to spend some time with you and allowing them to invest in themselves by spending $1,000. And we don't hardly ever, I can't even remember a time, I don't even know how many podcasts deep we are at this stage, but I don't remember ever talking about what we do with our auditioning students. So I would like to do that for the benefit of those of you who are saying, I don't want to lose $30,000 on my first live event because I tried to pick your brain over lunch. Like, really, just give me the blueprint and let me do it step by step. So we have a group called Inner Circle. We have Inner Circle students right now who are joining us live on this call. And so what we do, it's an audition process in order to get into Inner Circle, where we spend a year with our students and we teach them everything from how to launch high ticket coaching programs, how to sell on the stage, how to do podcasts, how to do online marketing, how to create online courses, and how to sell everything, and to do it in an ethical way, in a gentle way, in a sweet way that nobody's offended by it. To do it properly, we need to spend time with you, but we start with an audition. And in that audition, we spend 4 weeks and we pair you up with a one-on-one coach. We help you get clarity on who you're going to help, how you're going to help them, and what your offer is going to be. And then if you get an invitation to Inner Circle, you can decide, hey, I want you guys to coach me through it. Give me the blueprint, give me the words to say, help me package it, help me to put it together. And if you're listening to this right now and you go, hey, I want more info, I want to know what to do next. Zach, what would they do next?
Yeah, the next step would be go to purposecall.com, right? If you've got that call, you've got that purpose in your heart, go to www.purposecall.com. You can schedule a one-on-one session with one of our coaches to talk about your dream, your vision, and what the possibilities are for you specifically. And our coaches can take it from there and give you your best next steps. Purposecall.com.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when I started off as a coach, some 12 years ago as a paid coach. Before that, I coached people who are at the superstar level, and they spoke for me. So I got shifted by the Lord. The Lord shifted me into coaching Christians. And he said, I want you to take the skills that you've learned over decades, and I want you to teach the next generation of emerging Christian leaders. Well, I had no template. I had no script to follow. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to go to teach me. And so I really had to learn by the school of hard knocks, which is not fun. It's not fun to learn in the school of hard knocks. However, I did have decades of prior experience, and that made it a whole lot easier for me. But when I started Kingdom Builders Academy, I thought, this is the course, this is the program, this is the community, this is the curriculum that I would have wanted. If I had been able to pay for it, what would I have wanted? And that's what we've spent 12 years creating for our students is, let's do this in an easy paint by numbers way. Let's do it step by step. Let's have checklists for everything. Let's give you the exact words that you need to say, the exact emails that you need to send, the exact template. And so that's what we're really here to do on this podcast, in our community of Inner Circle and Kingdom Builders Academy, is we're here to make it easier for you than it was for me. And we've really got it dialed into an amazing scientific system. We've got it down to a system, meaning that anybody with no experience or with a lot of experience can come into Inner Circle and very quickly get their first $1,000 paying clients. And the more experience you have, the quicker your results are and the more stunning your results are. But we have seen the vast majority of our students getting their first $1,000 to $5,000 of paying clients in as little as a couple of weeks to 12 weeks. Most of our students, the vast majority, I'm talking approaching 90% of our students, get their first paying clients within just 90 days. And so it's easier when you have a template. So I wanted to give you that resource to help you.
Yeah, that's great. I think it is, like you said, Coach Tam, the first time we've even talked about what the Inner Circle is. So if you are interested in getting that help, getting that blueprint, getting that one-on-one step-by-step plan, it's purposecall.com. You can head over there now, talk to a coach one-on-one, and then we will see you guys back next week on the Kingdom Builders Academy podcast. Bye, everybody.